There are all sorts of reasons why it is important for children to have access to healthy, nutritious food. The BackPack program is so named because each week bags of food go out.
Through the week, they get breakfast, they get lunch at school. But on the weekends, do they have breakfast and lunch, or even at night, do they have supper?
Before I retired, I worked in a public school in Lafayette that received the backpacks. It was evident the children knew when we dropped those bags by their classrooms, and they were either relieved or overjoyed to see them much of the time.
I was a backpack kid when I was in elementary school, so I know the benefit that it has. I think it's a wonderful program. It's definitely needed.
Hunger absolutely exists in our community. We may be insulated from that. We may not see it.
If you've got a kid who's hangry and cranky and hungry, you can't even reason with them. Children need to be fed, their bellies need to be full so that they can sit still and listen and think, and it takes a lot of energy to be a kid, so it's gonna take a lot of nutrition to be a kid.
I mean, youngsters who don't get enough to eat, they become lethargic, or they just turn off. I mean, they can't do their work, they can't sleep well, they worry about things, and the grades suffer terribly.
One night, I became aware of a tragedy that happened in a home. It was the kind of tragedy that required the family being brought into the police department for an interview. I was brought in to be present with the family. I was sitting with a mom and her two children. The mom suggested that given the late hour, and this was a Thursday night going into Friday morning, that the children didn't need to go to school the next day. And the one child immediately piped up and said, "No, I want to go to school tomorrow." The mom asked, "Well, if you didn't go to school, what would you miss?" And the child said, "My food bag. I wouldn't get my food bag." The point was driven home that night, just how vital this program is for the people it serves. I don't believe we have met the need that exists. And so I think the BackPack program is one piece of that puzzle, and it's an important piece.
One person can do something, and 100 people can do it 100 times better. And it takes people to do the job, but it also takes money to pay for that job. So the food has to be purchased with money and then has to be distributed by people. One won't do it, it takes both.
Hunger is everywhere. It's maybe next door. It may be people in our congregation. It may be people that you think you know really well, but you really don't know that they're hungry. So don't underrate hunger. It's everywhere.
I think a lot of us are privileged to the point that we don't see the hunger. We don't experience it, and therefore can be lulled into a sense that it's not real, it doesn't exist. But it does.